Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to episode 23 of our SkyFactory 2.5 modded Minecraft Let's Play series. If you recall, the last few episodes we have been working on applied energistics and, how to set up our system, how to use some loopholes like the Super Soaring Drive to really maximize on our system. And since last episode, I have been extremely busy, and actually this episode's getting recorded really late. Like, normally the episode would already be up at this time. However, due to the amount of work I've had to do with this, I've literally spent like 12 hours just in this little area pretty much, getting everything converted, and also some in the base, getting everything that we're autocrafting and auto-processing and all that moving into our system. I've pretty much got everything coming in now. The only exception is like our Eulorium stuff. I haven't got that moving in. And yeah, I think that's about it. Our compressed cobble I'm not moving in just yet because I'm still debating on how I want to handle that. I thought about doing like a round robin system so it sends so much in to get compressed further and sends us so much, but I don't know yet. We may just leave it over there, but I'm still thinking on that. If you notice, I have got a ton of deep storage units set up. I've actually got the system set up so that it auto-crafts that. And if you notice, I've done a bunch of wiring on the back here. This is all with the same design that I showed you, the Super Soaring Drive. So what I've done is I've just ran one dense cable line out, and then that's splitting off. Of course, it carries 32 channels, if you notice, and it's splitting 8 off down each of these lines, and then, of course, storage bus to interface, move the power over, and then every 6 after that is, getting converted back over to a new channel or a new, system. And then right here, I've got this export bus taking in this ex nihilo ingots, because most of our ingots are thermal foundation. So those it takes in those, and then they get exported out to a unifier that turns them into the thermal foundation versions, and then it just gets sent back into the system. And if you notice, you can see the amount of stuff that's coming in pretty rapidly. And I did put 4 acceleration cards on this import bus. I also put a couple capacity cards and a couple acceleration into this export bus so that we can have, the 9 slots. Over here, I actually need to drop the floor down by 1. I miscounted because I didn't take into account putting a ceiling into this area. So I need to drop the floor down by 1. That's not going to be a problem. I figure I'll just use our builder's wand, put it out, or bring it down, and then, dig out the blocks. And that works fine because I actually kind of wanted a border between the floor and these deep storage units. I haven't decided, though, if I want to change this over and have borders in between each 6 or what. I don't know. I kind of like the wall of deep storage units, actually, especially if they have the border around them and then maybe glass them in. So, so they're kind of separate and everything. All these interfaces are currently full with crafting recipes, and then I've got one over here that's got just a few in it right now. I think because I was moving things around. Okay, it ended up with the fluix cable and the cores. And then if you look at our system, we've got a ton of stuff in here. We've got 59,000, almost 60,000 cobble, and then stuff like iron. We have almost 18,000 of that. Let's see, our Enderium, we almost have 300 blocks of that, and I actually used quite a bit of that too, so that's actually quite a bit. Over here, we have our processing set up. Now, I haven't got all this plugged in anymore. I just recently moved that over after I got done crafting deep storage units, but I did teach it how to make clay with the clay blocks, as well as Certus dust, fluix dust, and nether quartz dust. And then, we've got a bunch of stuff here to make plastics and everything. And then over here, I've taught it to make the pure Certus and the pure fluix. Now, I will say that when I picked this up and moved it over here, when I set it back down, it did crash again. So just a heads up on that. And I am still getting, the FPS drops. It did seem to fix a little bit. after I removed a trash can that was over there for some reason. But I've been going through all my wires. It doesn't seem to be a loop. I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. I might try to run it without the texture pack, like lose the Sphax for a little while and try that off camera and just see. That's one thing I haven't tried yet, and I still have some more wires just to double check to make sure it's not in an infinite loop. I know there was a suggestion to check that. I haven't found any as of yet, and I've been spending most of the time rewiring and whatnot. The base is actually kind of tore up, so I've got a lot of facades to remake and put down and everything, or to make new ones, because I've got more spots where the wires are running through them. But anyway, this episode we're going to be pretty much wrapping up our applied energistics tutorial stuff. I mean, for the most part. There's still some stuff later on we'll cover, like the quantum links and stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and jump into it. The first thing that I want to cover is how to transfer your channels, because you know, I want channels over there, but I don't want to run 50,000 cables, running, 32 channels. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a P2P tunnel to accomplish that. So let's go ahead. I did get some dense cables made. Let's see. And I don't really need these, actually. Let me make, say, 30. Oh, of course, we're missing pure fluix. That's fine. Let me make, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to crush up this, do it by hand for right now, and we'll start getting this stuff set up. Yeah, it's something, I think, in the agriculture area, actually. I wonder why that's not getting enough power. I need to actually rewire, reset up all the tesseracts, because this one right now, I think there's just not enough power going into it, and it's on the farm-powered liquid items. And I know that one's pretty heavy used. I need to spend some time after this episode setting up the power, and I also need to continue troubleshooting this FPS. It's driving me insane. So let's see. We'll also want some P2P tunnels. Oops. I've noticed that if I don't click up here, I can't put the numbers in. So let's start with, of course, we need the fluix. Great. Great. Okay. And then we'll just combine it with sand. And also, I don't think, okay, that's right there. I don't think I covered it last episode, but when you make these, or I don't think I talked about it last episode, when you make the recipes, the processing recipes, make sure and just go ahead and put how much you're going to make out of it, because example, conduit binder, you're going to make 4 at a time, so just put that into the recipe, put it in there 4 times, because you can stack it. Same with the pures, that way you don't end up like doubling everything that you're trying to make. So and let's see, let's go ahead and we'll make one of these P2Ps. That'll get us, no we won't, oh, gosh. Okay, we'll make the other item that we're going to need for it. I apologize. I thought I had everything prepped, and I totally slipped my mind. I didn't have pure fluix. I saw like the standard fluix and didn't think anything about it. So you're going to want one of these memory cards. Oops. Okay. So we'll get one of those, and this is going to allow you to set the P2P tunnels and tell them, where they're going to link up and everything. And let's see if this is done. If not, I'll cut camera for a second while it finishes. Oh, you know what? That probably doesn't have power. Dang it. Okay, give me just a second. I'm going to make a controller and set it up temporarily over there and everything. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. So I've got everything prepped now. Once again, I do apologize about that. So, by the way, when you go to do your Certus quartz, or not your Certus quartz, but your, let me find it here. Right here, your printed circuits. When you go to put them in the crafter, I was having issues with them making more of the cutting knives. If you notice, I have a few here that are different stages. Make sure, what fixed it for me was hitting this OR dictionary substitutions. I hit that and it seemed to, you know, after that it would use damaged knives instead of just the fixed ones or the full durability ones. So just make sure, and you know, if you're having issues with that, try clicking that. Like I said, now it's using the damaged ones for me. So gosh, I have no idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and start plugging this stuff in. Let me organize my inventory just a little bit here. And okay, should be good. So what we'll do is we'll bring down, and we're going to use different colors so that, for one, they don't connect if you use different colors. But also, that way, once we get it over there, we can kind of differentiate between, you know, what's what. So we'll bring those down. That means there's 32 channels on those, and we'll hook up a P2P tunnel right there. And then, let's see, we'll connect it with this smart cable, like so, and that's fine that those connect. And we'll bring it over and then switch it over to a dense cable after that. And so it's going to be using 2 channels, you know, to connect these two. And then we'll bring our dense cables out. I wonder, well, never mind. I see. And I'm going to try to go around this because I actually have a really neat idea, I think. Once we get to where we're doing the aesthetics in this area, I have a really neat idea for the entrance to this area, and also you know, like the way you enter into this area and everything. So let's see, let's get some more of these dense cables. Let's say like 40. Yeah, I figured I'm probably going to need some more stuff. So let me cut camera for a little bit. I'm going to get a bit more dense cables prepped. I know this part's kind of expensive on us, but once we run, you know, one line of this, that's going to be fine. So we will be all set, you know, for this. So I'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. So I got the dense cable ran. The next thing that we're going to want to do is let's grab this controller. And let's get ourselves some quartz fiber. Just a little bit of this. Okay, that's fine. Oh, okay. And first off, we're going to give this connection power. And we're just going to do so like we did in the past. So let's break this, and we'll hook in a quartz fiber here, quartz fiber here. Whoops, no. And a quartz fiber here. Yeah, that should be. No, I don't want dense cable, I want smart cable. And so that'll supply this system with power just from that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to where I left this space open, and we'll just hook in a controller right here. So we've created kind of like a little subsystem underneath this. You know, it's actually separate from that system. So if I hooked in, say, a terminal, I wouldn't be able to see any of those stored items. This is totally a separate system. But if you notice, we're using 2 of 32 channels. That's our P2P channels that are over there. And then let's run, oh my gosh, it's driving me insane. We'll run our smart cable. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to run it over to here. Yeah, and then back one more, and we'll bring it up. And then what we'll do, so let's do that, is we'll hook in, tell you what, I actually, trying to figure out how I want to set this up. Okay, well, yeah, we'll do that. And we'll set, actually no, okay, I got it. We'll connect our white dense cable here, and let's see, hook a P2P on that one, and then bring our smart cable over so it connects to this P2P, and then we will do our power again. So now that this system is now getting power, bring this up, and let's go grab ourselves some smart cables. Oh, let me, okay. 10's gonna be fine. Whoops. There we go. And we'll get some bone meal. So we'll make these white smart cables. It really doesn't matter, but like I said, I just kind of want to use it for, you know, our benefit. And then, let's see. I'm trying to think. That should be everything that we need for right now. And we'll just hook this in like that. So all these interfaces, since they're next to each other like that, they're all going to connect on the same line. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to run over here to where we first connected this this white channel in, and we're going to right click it. So it's, if you notice, it says successfully saved settings, and then we'll come back over here and just right click it instead of shift click, and it's going to say successfully loaded settings, and it'll take a second. And for a second it said device missing channels, but now it's device online, and we're using 8 channels and 8 of 32 right here. So now we'll be able to run another line of machines on top of this and on top of this and so on. What I'm probably going to do is I'll run another line of machines here and run power cables on top of that so it connects onto the machines below it, and then run machines on top of that so the power cables connect up there, and then, you know, have like a double layer, 2 double layers for machines on both of these. So later on I'll connect this to the blue channel, and so we'll have, you know, what is that, 64 slots for machines right here. And if you notice, these have arrows and these don't. What I did was just to make sure, like, you know, if I connect other stuff on top of this or something, to make sure that these interfaces don't connect into the machines. Generally they're pretty smart, so they're going to realize, you know, oh, I need to be connected to this. But when you have them in, you know, kind of cramped conditions, I tend to like to just right click on the back and tell them to point, you know, in this direction, so that no matter what, they're going to be focused on this machine. They're not going to try to input the items that they're receiving for their recipes into anything else. So so now we should be able to go over here and let's say let's request 10 rubber bars, for example. Now it'll take a second. Actually, if we run over here, you'll see it crafting. There we go. And oh, I forgot to set this one up to push pull. Okay, so now it sends it back to the interface, and that interface sends it back to our system. So if we jump over here, there's our rubber bars. Now another thing to keep in mind is, actually first off, one thing I want to show you really quick is if you take, oh, I'm out of patterns. Let me make a pattern really quick. There we go. Okay. So if you take charge Certus, let me set it to processing. If you take charge Certus, redstone, and why is it? I cannot think right now. Redstone, glowstone? Right. Having like a mind blank here. Oh, nether quartz, that's right. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I was just doing that, but it slipped my mind. Okay, here we go. If you take these three and tell it that it's going to make a Fluix crystal, encode that pattern, and let's run over here and put it into this. Now it's going to actually make that. We don't have to set up the big water chamber and all that. We can just use that crystal growth chamber from AE2 stuff. So if we, let's say we request some pure Fluix, say 10 of it. Now you'll notice it's going to sag mill the Fluix and everything for us. If we jump over here, you'll see that the sag mill, well, it may have already done it. Okay, yeah, see, it's already thrown the Fluix seeds in there. Now we'll give them, they're not getting power, are they? Okay, that's a little, I was expecting the power to come through the interface. However, it's not doing that. So let's see, how do I want to do this? If I'd put it on the edge or something, that might have worked out better. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna figure out how I want to do this, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I just ran some white cable with a quartz fiber there. It's fine. But if you notice that these don't automatically get sent out, so there's no way. I don't believe there's any cards that would do that. I don't believe so. No. So let's see, I think you can use an acceleration card on this though. Yeah, you can. And I believe that's the only thing that works with the crystal growth chamber. Yeah. But so you'll notice that it doesn't automatically export our items. Now for right now, just because I don't want to crash the game, actually, eventually I'm going to move that to the end, and it'll be a little bit easier to set up how I wanted it. Oops. For some reason I can't use T unless I click on that as well. I don't know. Okay. So let's grab some item conduits. Generally what I do for this is I will just tell it to extract always active, or no, you need a filter for this, that's right. So let's make a filter really quick. Do I have any paper in here? No, I don't. So let's... Oh, wait, I need 4 pieces. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to end up moving that down to the end so that we can run the cables and it not be intrusive to our design. But I know it'll crash the game when I go to move it, so I'm going to wait and do that off camera. But what we'll do is we'll set this up with a filter, and let's grab one of these. And we'll tell it whitelist pure fluics. And eventually we'll whitelist some of the other stuff as well. And insert into there. And if you notice, all of it's gone now. And it's inserted all of it back into the system for us. So, the only thing that causes an issue with... Or no, never mind, I'm sorry. It doesn't actually cause an issue with anything. So we can... I was thinking of the fluics, but that's right, we're going to use the fluic seeds, so... So we can do that for all 4 things that we can make with that, and then it'll, send it back out to the system. So, that's pretty much got that covered. If you guys have any question about transferring like mass channels this way, just let me know down in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to help you. And we can do that, like we can hook up 32 P2Ps on this side and 32 over here. Now you could do it without using the controller, but then you pretty much be limited to like 16 and 16. Might as well put the controller down and just make like a subsystem. So, but we'll be able to run 32 with that subsystem just on that one line, So, and 32 times 32 is, I don't even know, a hell of a lot. So that'll be perfect for setting up our machines over there. And then I'm also going to use it for up here. I'm going to run, like a channel line, and then have, 8 come out here, 8, 8, 8, and then a new dense line, then 8, 8, 8, 8, and so on. And so the next thing that I want to cover, now that we got that done, is how to keep our system stocked with items. So first off, we're going to want an interface, which I've already prepped this stuff, and then we're also going to want a storage bus, and then we're also going to want a crafting card. So let's see. How many smart cable? Fluics will be. Yeah, fluics will be fine. So I'm gonna set the. For now, I'm just gonna set it back here. I haven't decided where I'm gonna put the stuff to request items. So we're going to set the interface up right here, and we're going to put a storage bus directly onto that interface. Then put another smart cable here, and we're going to set a crafting card in this. And what the crafting card is going to do is it's going to say, like, if we put, say we put, processors in there, it's going to allow the system to craft processors in order to fill the needs that we set in the interface. So for example, let's go ahead and grab these. So if we look at engineering processors as of right now, let's find them here. Okay, well, we've got 15 in there. But if we come over here to this interface and we take the 64 and set them there into the configuration, you'll notice it's starting to go up. And what it's done is it's pulled the engineering processors out of the system, basically. So they're not in an ME drive anymore. They're now being held in this interface. But it's going to craft it, and it's always going to keep 64 in there. And since we have that storage bus on there, it's going to allow the system to use these engineering processors that we have in the system. So then we can do the same for, say, logic processors and calculation processors. And later on, I'll probably set it up for like dense cable. Dense cable is something that I use a ton of in my applied energistics setups, and so I definitely want something that will to keep the system filled with dense cable. So anytime I need it, I can just come over here and I've got it on hand. Now you can use what's the block called? Let me see. Oh, I can't think of the name of the block because I don't ever use it all that much. It's I can't think of it off the top of my head, but anyway, there is a block that you can use. Like I said, I can't think of the name of it. I remember it has looks like the items are like coming through it. I'll leave it in an annotation during the video. For some reason I'm having just a brain lapse or something. But there is an item that you can use to set it up to have more in a inventory, but and then you have to use the level emitters and stuff. But honestly, I find that 64 processors are perfectly fine, especially as long as you have like your octadic capacitors and stuff in your machines, and upgrade all your autocrafters and things like that. It's really not going to be an issue, because if you're requesting that much, I wouldn't think that you'd be in a rush for it, because later on we'll teach our system how to automatically craft storage cells and keep like a line of ME drives. We'll keep them filled every time one gets started getting filled. It'll make a new storage cell, put it in there for you, and keep your storage going. So we'll cover that later on. I've got to craft a ton of ME drives and set them all up and all that before we do that. So but anyway, that's basically how you keep, as long as you just want 64. Now you could put 64 engineering processors in all these slots, and it would have to keep them all filled, so you could have a ton that way as well. But there's easier ways to handle mass requesting like that. So, and now the last thing that I want to cover is, let's go ahead and make ourselves one other thing here, and let me find the block here, because for some reason I can't think of the name of it. It's kind of light here, so it's a matter condenser. We'll get this matter condenser, and let's set it up. Tell you what, I don't know if I want to plug it straight into our system to eat up our cobble, or just make a new subsystem for that. I think we'll just make a new subsystem. And what we'll do is, let's grab, do I have transfer nodes for items somewhere? I'm sure that I do. Let me see. There's like all kinds of just junk around here. No, that's all liquid transfer. Okay, well, we'll just craft one, that's fine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me cut camera, and I'm going to get this stuff set up. I don't want you guys to have to sit and watch all this. But I'll be back in just a second. Okay, welcome back. I'll just kind of set up a quick... Actually, let me move this to there. Just set up a quick little cobble gen. Nothing too crazy. This isn't going to be the permanent spot for it, but just for sake of showing you guys, I just set it up right here. And then we can set this matter condenser down and hook it up with item conduits. So before we put this last part in, let's grab let's see, let's go ahead and grab a 64K. Oh, we need quartz glass. Have I not taught you how to make quartz glass? I'll do that really, really quick. Oh, I need a pattern. I remember I made a bunch earlier when I started. I didn't realize I hadn't never set that up because I just kind of set up things as I needed it. Okay, so we will teach it to make quartz glass. Set that in there, and then let's see, we'll make our 64K. Now, whenever you start using this to make the matter balls, you're going to need just a 1K is fine. Singularities do require, I believe, a 64K, if I recall correctly. To store all of it in. Still crafting. Now you can craft a, what is it, one of the terminals. I can't think of the name of it. I don't use it that much. Was it an interface? No, interface. Let's see. Can't recall. There's one of them that lets you see the oh, never mind. You can hit right up here and see crafting status. So right now it's working through all this pure Certus to make our 64K, and then it's got to make, we've already got one of these made when I was setting up the recipes, and I'll tell you what's probably slowing it down is this right here. Let me add this to the filter. And that should be good. Okay. So now if we look at our crafting status, it's still crafting 24 of those. Oh yeah, it's going to be catching that rock on fire. Now these barrels from Java are fireproof, so you don't have to worry too much about those. But, gosh, driving me insane. I'm going to try by next episode to have this FPS thing fixed. So I do apologize about that. Now let's see. How's this going? What the hell is this doing? Pure Certus. Why is it? I bet you. Let me check this. Yes. I set those up wrong. So let me grab these. I set them up for 2. It's actually only 1. The recipe prior is 2. But, sorry about that. Okay, so let's... We can just right click, take half those off. And oh, I forgot to hit encode to change it over. You can change your patterns just like that, so not too big of an issue if you get them wrong. It just kind of slows you up there for a second. So now we'll go in, cancel our crafting, and then we'll say give us a 64. Okay, now it shouldn't take very long to do. And while that's running, let's go ahead and get ourselves a couple acceleration cards, which I've already taught the system how to make these. Oh, none of our CPUs are available right now, which I did upgrade this, if you notice. It is a 2x2 now with 2 coprocessors and 2 16Ks. And by the way, no matter how much you add to this, it's only going to take up 1 channel. Now you do have to keep it as a cuboid size, so if I just did 2 crafting coprocessing and then a 16K, that wouldn't work because it's just an L shape. But as long as you keep this in a cuboid shape, it is going to only use up 1 channel and it's going to work fine. So our 64K is done. So we can just throw this in here and say we're going to start with singularities, I think. And there we go. Now it's going to slowly, let's see. If you notice, it's building up stored energy. It's taking that cobble and it's condensing it down in this storage component, and once it gets the 256,000, it is going to create a singularity. Now keep in mind that when this finishes, it's not going to use up the 64K storage component, so you're only ever going to have to make one of these, and this one will work for the paintballs as well as the singularities. So eventually I'm just going to add another matter condenser and have one making paintballs, one making singularities. Now granted, singularities aren't something that we need right this second. However, I would suggest you make them early because they're easy to set up, and when it comes time that you do need one, you don't want to have to wait to craft one of these because they do take a little while. And I'll probably add some more world interaction upgrades to this just to speed it up. But once it finishes, now the paintballs you can use to actually color things. I'll show you those really quick. You see there's these different kinds. You're going to start with just a it's just maybe a white, or could have swore it was just like a non-color one. Maybe not. Maybe it's just white. But then you can dye them, and you can put them in this color applicator. And this thing you can charge up in the charging station to give it energy. And you can put these paintballs into them and use that to color your wires instead of actually crafting the colored dense cables, smart cables, and all that. You can use that color applicator, which I'll end up making one and we'll cover it later on. But we'll do that in another episode. I just want to tell you guys about it. It's pretty self-explanatory to use it. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the episode out there. I feel like we've covered pretty much everything you need to go to get like a good solid applied energistics setup going. I mean, we've covered super soaring drive setups. We've covered transferring channels, how to use channels, how to autocraft things, how to auto process things. Pretty much I think everything that comes to mind immediately. And we've also covered at least one abnormal machine over here that doesn't automatically output back. So yeah, just like these, the Ender IO machines are really easy to set up. That's why I like to use them over anything else, because they can push and pull from the same spot. But other machines are a little bit more, you have to use more conduits and stuff like that, but not too big of a deal. But yeah, so we'll end the episode there. As always, if you enjoyed it, please comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Very much appreciated. Once again, I am sorry that this episode's probably getting uploaded pretty late in the day, and that's, like I said, because it did take a really long time to prep all this. So once again, I do apologize about that, and I also apologize because I know I was a little bit tired at this point. It's like midnight here, close to midnight. So I do apologize about that as well. Usually I record a bit earlier, but I spent most of the day getting this ready for you guys. So but yeah, between this episode and next, I will continue working on this because there's a lot of machines to set up and some more auto crafting to set up. I'm going to end up using the channel transfer for our auto crafters, and I'm also going to drop the floor down and everything. So quite a bit of work to do with this. And yeah, next episode we'll be switching over from applied energistics because I feel like we're pretty solid on that. Like I said, if you guys do have any questions, though, feel free to let me know down in the comments or on social media, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Because I know applied energistics can kind of be a pain if you're fairly new to it or something. So, next episode, though, we'll probably get back into magic. Maybe an episode or two of magic, and then come back over and do some more tech stuff. I know here fairly soon we're going to be fighting the Wither, because I'd really like to get into Draconic Evolution. Now, we're going to kill him one time legit. After that, we'll use an auto-killing setup. So, we'll probably spend an episode here fairly soon, kill him, and then set up the auto-kill and have that running. So, but yeah, I guess that's about it. So, until next episode, do take care, and I hope to see you then.